There's a lot of energy and excitement at the Business Breakthrough Brunch. The annual event is organized by Makisha Booth, founder of Sistahpreneurs.
You know, I also want to celebrate Sistahpreneur and Makisha Booth.
The innovative startup is a business accelerator for Black women entrepreneurs, helping them with the startup stages of their businesses, the first 1 to 5 years, building profitable models.
Well, I was doing business coaching generally at first, and I started getting a lot more calls from Black women entrepreneurs asking me to meet with them for coffee and help them. And a lot of them were coming from corporate America or government jobs and trying to build a business and just create success on their own terms and needed help.
Recently, the Federal Reserve Bank conducted a survey of African American women in 4 states, including Colorado. It found that Black women were the largest growing group in the entrepreneurial world, yet the lowest when it comes to generating revenue. Makisha Booth is trying to change all of that with Sistahpreneurs.
So the demand was there, and the interest was there, and I have a lot of experience in diversity and inclusion in addition to business development, so Sistahpreneurs was born.
But the typical startup community are entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley, California, and Boulder, Colorado. Those entrepreneurs are often startups via opportunity.
And that just means I got a great idea. It's a really great idea. I'm headed in that direction, and I'm going to find some VCs and go to some design challenges, and this is fun and it's great, and I'm going to go for it. In our case, it's often like, I got to put food on the table. I know how to do what I've been doing for someone for the past 20 years. I can certainly do it for myself. I'm going to start a business.
In other words, Black women tend to be entrepreneurs out of necessity, and they don't typically have the VC, or venture capital, like their white male counterparts do. Nor do they have the same social capital.
We know that less than 2% of our VC capital dollars go to Black women. Actually, I think it's less than 1% for Black women, but for people of color, it's less than 2%. And so we know that we're not getting the same access to capital and resources. We're not in the same rooms. We're not, we don't have the same social capital. And we don't have what's called triple F funding, friends, family, and fools funding. That's sort of that first influx of cash.
That's why Sistahpreneurs provides a number of programs like the Nonprofit Business Training Academy and the Business Breakthrough Brunch with a panel of business experts sharing their insights. The goal is to become stronger entrepreneurs, smarter saleswomen, and more courageous bosses. Brittany Ray Reese and her sister, Jocelyn Reese Hopkins, recently celebrated the grand opening of their new fitness and nutrition center, Fit and New in Aurora. Sistahpreneurs was able to take them to the next level on their journey in the startup world.
I do better working for myself. Both my sister and I were very mission-minded, and we feel that when you work for a larger corporation, you're spending your time, your energy, your resources to build someone else's dream and vision and live out their mission when we all have our own, mission too.
Because African Americans only make up about 11% of the population in Colorado, crossover is key, even though it may be difficult and uncomfortable.
You have to have mainstream relationships, and you have to do that work, and sometimes that work is not just a matter of going to those places. Sometimes there's a lot of mindset work that needs to be done to be comfortable and to stick through it, even though it may not feel inclusive, even though those environments aren't designed for you.
Sistahpreneurs offers a place to have honest conversations about demands from employers, like making you cut off your locks in order to advance in the workplace.
On that discussion. They don't have a place where they can talk about that. They deal with it on their own. They don't even give themselves the opportunity and the permission to see it as a real issue impacting their revenues. And when they come in and meet with me, it's like, no, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. It feels a certain kind of way to you. It's in the way of you being able to get out there and do your thing. Let's deal with it.
One of the most important pieces of advice Makisha gives fledgling startups: create a pilot or a prototype before you put a lot of money into your new business.
Think about lean startup and design thinking and all these various PDSA and all these various rapid improvement cycles and methodologies. They are all around this idea that you want to first test things out at a very small scale and validate them with your customer. And then when you feel like you've got that secret sauce and it's validated, then build on it. Because what happens is if you do have capital, let's say you have your little bit of, retirement money or whatever capital you've been able to access, and you pour it down the wrong drain, that's it.
One other important tip to be successful: don't ask permission to be successful. So jump, leap.
Not one more degree, not one more certificate, not one more internship. Do it now. Go for it.
For Street Level, I'm Tamara Banks.